Here with Beau Bridges, great actor, and you see him in a lot of movies. He's also a very political part of the creative artist group that is here today. Tell us a little bit about why you're here and what you're doing to sort of bring the creative community and the political community together.
Well, I'm here with the Creative Coalition, which is a nonpartisan group. I was invited also to the Republican convention, which I would have gone to, but I had to work, so I'm here for the DNC, and we're just here trying to get informed about what the politicians, what they're thinking about, what their programs are, and especially as it, in this case, how it applies to the arts, because we feel that the arts are an essential part of the human experience, and also the fact that the entertainment industry, the communications industry, is probably at least the second biggest industry that our country has. And so it's big business too. It's not just, artsy-fartsy kind of talk. It's about a very important industry to all of us. And then about, of course, when the arts are lifted, so are all the support industries, the service industries around them, the restaurants, food suppliers, all of that benefits.
When you look at the Democratic Party, and a lot of obviously actors and people who work in Hollywood are Democrats. There's obviously a smaller portion. You all knew what happened with Clint Eastwood. We'll get to that in a second. The other day, but your thoughts about the need to keep Democrats who are more in line probably with the Hollywood community in general in terms of supporting arts, endowment for the arts and the music community, the artistic community in general. Is this something that you would like to see them embrace as opposed to steer away from?
Oh, sure. As I just said, I think the arts and communications are at the very core of the human experience. I mean, people have been telling stories since the dawn of time.
Sure.
And we need to learn from these stories. I think arts in the schools is a very important aspect of our community, giving young people a chance to benefit from their understanding of all the classics and all the arts that have gone on through history. I think that's really important. Sometimes people don't get that. If you're a parent, I have 5 children, I get it. So I think it's important.
What about your family? You come from a big Hollywood family, kind of grew up in that world. How has it changed?
Well, my dad, Lloyd, was an actor, but our friends, we lived in a community that had representatives from all businesses, and so my dad's best friend owned a liquor store that lived to him next door. And so we'd met actors, but it wasn't just exclusively from the acting community, really. And my father always stressed to all of his kids the importance of being a contributor to your community. I'm wearing this button right here, which says "No Kid Hungry." I'm part of that effort, as is my brother Jeff. He's one of the initiators of the program, because we live in this very rich country, financially and in every other way, culturally, and yet 1 out of every 5 children in our country goes hungry, and that's an abomination.
It's outrageous. Do you sense that people are more engaged in the process, or are they just sort of, because of the economy and maybe because of so many things on their plate, an average person I'm talking about, completely not understanding of the fact that kids are going hungry? How do you look at that from our society today, maybe when you were younger?
Well, I think this election is going to go a long way to show us how involved our population is. I think, unfortunately, people are tending to be, have lost a little faith in the whole process, because it seems politicians a lot of times are more interested in keeping their job than they are in doing something with it and being active and making change happen. And I guess you can't fault them in a way. Everybody wants to keep their job, but sometimes it's unfortunate when that happens at the failure of some of their programs, things that they want to do. I mean, they just seem, it's like they come out fighting before they even hear what the other person has to say, and that's unfortunate.
Clint Eastwood the other day had a very controversial speech, the whole thing with the chair. He's a veteran actor, a great actor, but this was not one of his better performances, at least from most people's perspectives. How do you look at that, and do you feel empathy as an actor, trying to get involved in politics, but at the same time, the whole scene, the sketch, if you might, seemed to be just discombobulated?
Well, Clint Eastwood is a well-respected member of our acting community and our family. He's been a great actor and great director for many years, and he certainly deserves that respect. Every performance can't be your greatest. I wish someone had his back and given him a hairbrush before he came out. But other than that, he did the best that he could. Some people talk about it being something strange, but I thought the strangest public speech I heard was Chris Christie getting off on Governor Jerry Brown from California, saying that he was a retread, and insinuating really that he was too old to do a job. But then I loved Jerry Brown's comeback. I don't know if you heard it, but he said, "Hey, I know. Christie said he was 14 years old when Brown first got office." And Jerry Brown says, "Yeah, I was passing the farm bill and doing all these other things." And he said, "As a matter of fact," he says, "I just ran 3 miles last night, did 100 push-ups," or whatever he said. And he says, "I'd like to challenge you, Christie, to a 3-mile race and push-ups and sit-ups." That's a contest I'd like to see.
I'd like to see that too. Do you sense, Beau, that the arrogance of one side? I know it's a nonpartisan group, but that the sort of anti-Hollywood assessment by some in the Republican Party. This has been a label for many years, even though there is an Eastwood, even though there is a Schwarzenegger, a Reagan. But
well, I was
for the
just
most
saying.
part,
I mean, I think there's probably been. I'm not sure. I've never counted on my hands, but I would guess that more Republican entertainers, in office than there have been Democrats. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
But you named a couple of them, and I think there's a whole lot more if you start thinking about it.
Sure.
And not a lot of, I can't think of off the top of my head.
Involved and everybody else.
No, but I can't think of Democratic people who've served in public office. I don't know.
Jones is about the only guy I can think of right now.
Who?
The congressman from Dukes of Hazzard.
Okay. Okay.
That's.
But I think if anything, it's probably pretty evenly dispersed between the two.
Any movies coming up that we should be on the lookout for?
Well, I'm in a new series that I'm just starting called The Goodwin Games on Fox.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to that. I start work on that in a couple of weeks.
Fantastic. I think I said one last question. I'm a big fan of the Newsroom on HBO, Jeff Daniels. Shows like that,
I haven't seen it yet.
that talk about the real life communication industry, if you might, how corporations interfere with that. How do you think that is an important piece for the American people to realize of what's going on behind the scenes at MSNBC and Fox and CNN?
Well, I haven't seen that particular show, but I think that's one of the purposes that the arts serves, is communicating ideas, telling the stories. We need to lift up rocks and talk about things like the fact that 1 out of 5 kids are hungry, or what goes on behind the scenes, like you say, in politics. That's important for, all of us to know about. So we're sitting in our homes watching TV, and we can see that, and that's hopefully what we bring as entertainers, not just making people laugh, but also informing them and helping to stay in tune with what's really going on in the world.
I appreciate it so much. Beau Bridges, right here on the Revolution Radio Network, and great to see Beau involved in politics. Hopefully we can get more actors involved. Thanks so much.
Thank you.